Fair enough. Fuck no. Yeah, 1 minute. Oh.
That was an insane tip that you did. Why? Why did you? Why? What made you choose?
Texting, stand-up commentary, very excited commentary, very excited commentary.
Yeah. That was insane.
Adam 90'da oynardı abi. Adam soğuk. Yeni giriyor. Biraz oynadı işte. Ondan sonra üç penaltı penaltı atsın diye. Hayvan gibi asıldı abi. Bir de like bir şekilde gidiyoruz. Net bir an var ya. Ben atacağım. Ben de senin ardından geldim. Bir de ben zannediyorum ondan sonra internet okula gideceğiz. Ondan sonra bir delik daha var. Beklemeyi hiç zaten o dediği kendine gitti. Bilen olmasaydı bilen olduğu için gitmedi. Yoksa ondan bu. Böyle bağırıyor, hadi oynayalım. Bir oynayalım, top bir oraya gidiyor, biri oraya gidiyor. Hangisine gidiyorsa o araba
Just one commentator today? Just one commentator today. Oh, but you know what? If there's just one, yeah. Nah, I won't have the chair. I want to stand.
No, it's all right.
I'm so sorry.
No problem, but no problem.
Yeah, but I should have watched.
6, Anthony Lesiotis. Number for Hume City, we have number 14, Harry Ashcroft. Number 9, Bell Godfrey. Number 2, Joseph Ford. Number 7, Israel Lloyd. Number 23, Asen Ishak. Number 10, Kedar Burkhan. Number 12, Mark Orchard. Number 21, Joshua Akano. Number 6, Liam Miller. Number 17, Russell Joel. And number 1, Michael Weir.
As an early attack for the Burgers, we'll take you through the lineups in a second. Early flash of danger from Sabit Ngor, the on-loan Central Coast Mariners attacker. For Heidelberg, just the one change on the park from that outfit that lost 3-2 to the Thunder last week. Johnny Apostolopoulos, after being forced off after just 15 minutes of that game, he is out of the lineup and replaced by Ryan Lethlean in the defence. Hume City, meanwhile, just one change, but it's a big one. Lloyd Isgrove is back in the 11, while Oliver Kellart moves to the bench. Still no Josh Bingham. Still being assessed to see when the Hume City skipper will be able to return. Dara trying to open things up and, well, sending a bit of a scare through Mike Weir. Big Mike in goal for Hume City. In front of him will be Joseph Ford, Aaron Reardon, the aforementioned Lloyd Isgrove, Godfrey DeBelle, Birkin Kerdar, Mark Ocheng, Harry Ashcroft, Joel Russell, who scored his first goal for Hume in their win last week, as well as winning Birkin Kerdar's penalty. Josh O'Kane and Asen Ishak. There's Weir with good vision, and the applause of coach Rick Marchioli as he cleared that one away, and Hume will be awarded a free kick just inside their own half by referee Jack Morgan. For the hosts, Heidelberg United, they've got Yaron Souza in goal. In front of him, Ben Collins, Anthony Lesiotis, Moadara, Bull Juarch, Sabit Ngor, Dalibor Markovic, Ryan Lethlean, Sei Yokagawa, Anthony Theodoropoulos, and Max Bassetto. Max Bassetto, the leading goal scorer on the ground for either side with 3. Did score against the Thunder, albeit in a losing effort. Also has goals against Melbourne Knights and Melbourne Victory thus far on the campaign. As George can't wrangle that throw in. See a turnover as Hume look to switch the play from right to left. Skittles away from Kerdar though. Ball in behind, but Michael Weir aware of the danger and just sees it off to safety. Now, in the absence of Johnny Anastasiadis, was told by the Heidelberg dugout that it's going to be a team effort when it comes to them comes to coaching them tonight. If they lose, however, we can blame assistant Savas Patikas. That was the instructions I was given. Jestingly, I should add. That's Bassetto trying to get something going on that left flank for the Burgers, cutting it across. Lesiotis trying to keep play alive. Appeals for a handball, waved away by Jake Morgan. Good officiating crew here at the home of the Matildas tonight. Morgan, the man in the middle, assisted by Jordan Inglis and Jackson Landy. Letko Trajeski is the 4th official. As Kerdar keeps this in on the left flank. Birkin Kerdar step over as he tries to move the ball into an area where he can find a teammate. And the Burgers, in the end, will see off the danger. Hume assistant Jono Clemente on the bench, encouraging his side to keep up the volume. Telling them they're too quiet. That ball is headed over. Basetto lets it run, and that allows Ford to pinch it away. Dalibor Markovic content to just take the throw in. This is the second home game that Heidelberg have played here. They also drew 1-1 with Preston at this venue a few weeks ago. They enter tonight 6th on the table. Of course, still very early on in the season. So these latter positionings probably have to be taken with a grain of salt, even though they'll start to become more and more tangible as the campaign progresses. O'Kane keeps the play moving. Markovic just got caught up underneath himself. Gave Isgrove a sniff. Lesiotis sweeping up for Heidelberg. Basetto attempting to get away from Ford, runs straight into Aaron Reardon. Aaron Reardon again playing as a holding midfielder tonight. Can also play as a centre back. Has deferred that role tonight, Ishak and Ashcroft. Burke and Kurdar stepping up alongside Joel Russell. As an attacker when Hume looking to press. Having to retreat now though. Yokokawa does well to get the ball in. Cleared away by Ashcroft. Markovic sends it back inside to Lesiotis. Got a keepy-uppy from the Burgers. They should have kept it up because the ball bounces and Hume pounce. Russell pointing where he wants the ball. Lloyd Isgrove instead opts to spear a switching ball, and it's a good one. DeBelle wrangles it in, trying to turn and open up the angle. But Ben Collins getting his body in the road before it can threaten the goals of Yaron Souza. Not all is lost for Hume, however, as they will now have the game's first corner. Kurdar to take. Godfrey DeBelle there in support for the short corner. One of 3 former Gold Coast Knights in the starting lineup for Hume. Ball will spill to the top of the box, and winding up is Josh O'Kane. It takes a touch on the way through, but it was hit with such venom that it still finds a way to crash into the Burgers' goal. And in what was just the 6th minute, Hume City have a 1-0 lead at the home of the Matildas. First blood drawn early by the visitors. It's been a while since Hume won inside 90 minutes against the Burgers. It was round 12 of the 2021 NPL Men's Victoria season. Lazy 1,399 days ago, but that early goal gives them a strong platform to build upon as they seek to earn a new notch against the Burgers. Of course, the most recent meeting between these two, that elimination final last year that went to penalties in the end, so officially going down as a draw, but Hume coming out of that one the victors for all intents and purposes after triumphing in a penalty shootout. Big Mike Weir with 2 saves to send Hume through. Burgers, stung by the early goal, trying to build up. Comes to naught as the ball over the top is comfortably claimed by Weir. Now a ball over the top for Hume. It's into empty space. The race is on. DeBelle's going to get there before Sousa. Can he keep it in? He does. So Sousa's going to have to retreat, but the ball intended for Mark Otchang just beats him, and now potentially transition for the Burgers. They got numbers forward. Juarch looking for Besetto, and it's steered out for a corner. So just as danger looked to be mounting for Heidelberg, are able to grab a turnover and all of a sudden put the pressure right back on Hume. And they'll have a set piece. Dalibor Markovic cross from left back to take. Top of the 6-yard box, it's headed clear. DeBelle puts his boot through it, only as far as Yokokawa. He collides with Isgrove. Isgrove holds his ground and then looking up, looking for Russell. Collect it, needs players arriving in support before he gets the chance to look for them. Ball is taken back by Anthony Lesiotis. Then a sloppy pass and the turnover. Birkenkurda tried the little side-footed pass, granting the hosts a reprieve. They'll come away with it now down the right. Nor had to come back and get it, did Savik Nor. And in doing so, he's going to give away a free kick and in his frustration, kick the ball away and give Jake Morgan the relatively simple task of giving him the yellow card. Kurda coming in with some intense pressure. Does well. As does Ishak. Clever little back heel to find Ocheng. Reardon heard the footsteps, got rid of it. Ashcroft wearing the armband tonight. DeBelle was almost being hugged there by Theodoropoulos. He was able to keep play moving. Burgers get the ball in their penalty area, come under intense pressure from Hume City. Both sides want a free kick, and then Mark Ocheng will work his way into the book as he just looks to slow down the play before Heidelberg can break in transition. Just almost tried to give Moadara a hug there. Not really an affectionate one. Dara now. Sabit Ngur. As the ball stolen away from him by Reardon. Ocheng keeps the play moving. Birkenkurda's got DeBelle on his left. It's where it goes. He's brought down. But it's waved away. Yaron Sosa coming out immediately saying, well, if you're not going to give that a free kick, that means it's a booking for simulation. But instead, we'll have a pause here at the home of the Matildas. New initiative from Football Victoria this year. Break in place, so players observing the holy month of Ramadan are able to break their fast. Players on both sides taking advantage, having spent the day fasting. And their teammates taking advantage of the drinks break as well, and coaches just having a few chats, sending across a few instructions. So play getting set to resume here at the home of the Matildas. If you are just joining us, it is the visitors, Hume City, with a 1-goal advantage, delivered in the 6th minute through Josh O'Kane. A corner spilling out to him and him putting his laces through it, setting a deflected effort past Yaron Souza. Always such a cruel goal for goalkeepers to concede, not only having to deal with the massive bodies in front of them in those situations, but then also a deflection. Play on is the call. The advantage is played. Sabit Noor getting past Chang, looking for a teammate. But Aaron Reardon lunging in to deflect it away for a corner. Delivering another set-piece opportunity for Heidelberg United, which should flash maybe some danger sides for Hume City. Defensively, been pretty stout this season. Speaking with Rick Marcoli before, and he observed that haven't actually conceded in open play, since round 2. It's set pieces that have brought them undone. As this one is lofted in again to the top of the 6-yard box. Max Bassetto arrived with the header. And it took a touch and went out over the crossbar, giving Dalibor Markovic another opportunity to whip one in. His first 2 have been really delivered into that same area. Top of the 6-yard box. This one hit with a bit more power, going a bit deeper, but that makes it a pretty comfortable collection for Mike Ware. He's just going to spear it out, giving Godfrey DeBelle something to chase. Moadara, the veteran midfielder, able to go with him. Now, Godfrey DeBelle has gone down behind play. We'll keep an eye on that as it's an Ishak getting across to put the ball out. Hume dugout able to get referee Jack Morgan's attention. DeBelle, one of those 3 Gold Coast Knights in the side. 10 goals in 17 games up in the NPL Men's Queensland competition last season. So spent time with Redlands United in the eastern suburbs. 24-year-old forward. Aaron Reardon, another one of those Knights that have made their way to Broadmeadows, as is Joel Russell. Young Player of the Year up in Queensland, Joel Russell. Godfrey DeBelle is going to be able to walk off under his own steam. Potentially promising, albeit is Ricardo Marchioli shouting over to summon one of his substitutes. Outfielders he's got on the bench. He's got Mehmet Uysal, Michael Domfer, Oliver Kellart, Erdenes Yildiz, and Obi Eze. Berger's trying to just find an angle and find a bit of extended control to try to pierce this Hume defence. Ball out there on the left flank. Basetto opted not to try to use the overlap. Stolen away by Isgrove, and it does look like, unfortunately for Hume, the Bellets race might be run. The Keller preparing to come on. That change is confirmed in the 19th minute. So the yin and yang, really, of an early start for Hume City. Taking a 6-minute lead through Josh O'Kane, but then losing one of their key attackers into Bellet soon after. Now, a week on from losing and giving up a lead after they lost a player early to injury, can Heidelberg take advantage? Theodoropoulos sends it back to Collins. Ethline. Burgess trying to be patient, trying to find a way through. But Hume spring and forced the turnover. Kerdar was enveloped, just poked it forward. Heidelberg swallows it up. It's a good ball to find Sabatengor. Owadara. Lesiotis. Markovic is in space. If they can get it to him, they do, but he's not able to run onto it. Lesiotis now. Trying to burst to the byline. Cross blocked away. O'Kane, the goal scorer. Trying to bring it out. Established himself as a regular starter last year. Did the 21-year-olds. Started out with the under-9s of Hume City. Did their goal scorer. Dara gets the ball from Collins. Theodoropoulos. Back to Collins now. Lesiotis. And then he plays it to Lesiotis. Markovic. Heidelberg with an extended period of possession, but you wouldn't exactly call it threatening, passing the ball around this defensive cordon erected by Hume. And eventually, in their attempts to go over it, they will cough the ball up. So, all in all, a pleasing defensive stand for those in the Hume dugout. Long ball out. Ethline, the big centre back, gets a head on it. But the territory will now shift. Hume have a throw-in inside the Burgers' half of the pitch. Souza sends it to Collins. Burke and Kerdar just comes up to keep him honest. And then the sloppy turnover. Lloyd Isgrove, not high on the list of players you want to give the ball to. He sends it in. Collins heads it clear as he falls over. Heidelberg looking to break. Ball played for Basetto. But Joe Ford up to the task, winning it back. Now Michael Weir will look to reset. Ball at his feet before he sends it to Ishak. Kerdar dropping to receive. And Adara at his back. So he returns the ball to Weir, who now looks across to the right flank. That is where the move will end as Heidelberg sees it back, ball in behind, Savitengor. And then he's brought down. And it will be a penalty. Almost looked needless. Double jeopardy rules. He's given away the penalty, so he won't see red. Aaron Souza has come all the way up the other end. He's getting involved in a bit of pushing and shoving. He's letting them know about it. It looked, well, from our angle, almost a needless challenge there from Big Mike Weir. Didn't look like, as pacey as he is, that Savitengor would be able to chase that one down before it bounced out. But perhaps the big goalkeeper doubting himself at the critical moment, putting a body into the Heidelberg attacker, and he's given away a spot kick. Believe that Yaron Souza has been booked for his little adventure up the other end of the pitch. Meanwhile, though, in the 25th minute, Buildup, he's got 1 goal in the season already, came against St. Albans. He'll now have the chance to step up and level this game at 1 apiece. Mike Weir, he was a hero in a penalty shootout against the Burgers in an elimination final last year. Can he keep the magic going? He cannot. Buildup sends him the wrong way. And the big number 9 ties this game up at 1 goal apiece at the home of the Matildas. A sweetly taken penalty from the South Sudanese attacker. Sent Mike Weir the opposite way, and his streak of penalty saves against the Burgers ends at 2. George, of course, crossing over in the off-season from the Altona Magic to sign with Heidelberg. So any leftover research that we had from that elimination final count for naught in that situation. Which maybe we saw the result of as he went the wrong way. Adara sends it back to Collins. Can Heidelberg use this newfound momentum to find a go-ahead goal now? Things are just getting a bit chippy as well. A little bit of niggle creeping into this one as Isgrove gives away the free kick just inside his half of the pitch. Seto turns on the Jets, carries it inside, goes for goal. And it rose and rose into the night sky over the crossbar. And Hume survive. Kurda, a back-heeled effort, will find a teammate in the form of Mark Ocheng. Ishak, Ashcroft. Reardon has time to turn. And then send the ball to more an area than a teammate, and that means it's a simple collection for Yaron Souza. Markovic and Basetto working on that left flank for Heidelberg. Markovic now having to sprint back because Joel Russell on the ball. Playing it inside. Kerdar, heavy first touch, took him towards the touchline. And in the end, took him over it. And Heidelberg can have themselves a goal kick. Lesiotis dropping between the centre-backs to provide another option, one that isn't utilised. As Collins instead goes to left lean. This time Collins' ball finds a teammate on that right flank in the form of Theodoropoulos. Theodoropoulos round his marker, ball across to the top of the 6-yard box, just unable to make proper contact with it was Yokogawa. Japanese attacker unable to find his second of the season. He scored in Heidelberg's 2-1 win over St Albans back in round 3. Sabit Ngor on the penalty that has the Burgers at 1-1 in this game. Forced away from the goals. Back to Collins. Again, Heidelberg forced to knock the ball around, unable to find an avenue through Hume's defensive shape. Previous occasions they've eventually opted to try to go long. Will we see that happen once more? Ball is played in behind, speared along the turf really. Ngor, well, he got there before the ball rolled out, but in his attempts to ensure it didn't keep going, he himself is responsible for the ball going out for a Hume City throw-in. Almost as deep as it gets on their defensive left flank. Ball up for grabs at the top of the Hume penalty area. And it will be a free kick to Heidelberg in a somewhat promising position. It's Yokogawa who's gone down holding his head. Then it was the Japanese attacker in his second season at the Burgers after signing from Albirex Nagita Singapore. Satellite team of J1 League outfit Albirex Nagita, which is now the home of Socceroo Jason Guerrier, one of 26 players, called up today by coach Tony Popovic for World Cup qualifiers against Indonesia and China this month. Sabit Ngor and Sei Yokogawa conversing over the top of this one. 4-player wall for Hume. Ashcroft farthest end from it. Yokogawa trying to just roll it along the turf underneath it. Ball will bounce out, and instead Heidelberg will have to content themselves with another Dalibor Markovic corner. Consistently seen Markovic trying to just put the ball to the top of the 6-yard box with these corner deliveries. Will we see another example of that? Instead, no, he goes short. And Oliver Keller, a Sri Lankan international, gets across to block it out. Lesiotis just kicking the ball away under pressure from Burke and Kurtar. Here and Souza forced to come out and just hoof it clear. It'll be an offside against Buildup. Forward sends it back to his skipper, Ashcroft. Reardon dropping to present another option. Isgrove lobs it up. Cheng attempts to just knock it forward off the back of his head. Sends it into touch. Now get the turn of Heidelberg to try to build up from the back. Try to find a way to unlock a Hume defence that has proven awfully stubborn every time it's been given the opportunity to get back and assume a defensive shape. Reardon sprinting up from his position at the base of the midfield to almost send his body through Lesiotis. Heidelberg retained possession. Savitengor has space on this right flank. It's a good touch that will take him into the penalty area. Looking for the byline, goes down again. Won't get the penalty on that occasion. Immediately waved away by Jack Morgan. Cheng's challenge deemed nowhere near sufficient to award a second spot kick to Heidelberg. One other game has kicked off in the NPL Men's Victoria already tonight. Green Gully against the Melbourne Knights. That game in the 36th minute. Scores are currently Green Gully 0, Melbourne Knights 0. Port Melbourne against Melbourne Victory and Oakley against St Albans. Other games set to be played tonight. The opening game of the NPL Women's Victoria season also being played tonight. Out in Melbourne Southeast, the Bentley Greens against South Melbourne. That game deep into second half stoppage time. Bentley Greens 1, South Melbourne 1. The Greens scored in the 3rd minute of the game. South equalising just before half time. Now Buildup trying to steal a march. Get in behind, but Ashcroft sliding in to prevent that at the last. Watching just able to get the ball before he's has it taken away from him. Now maybe some space on the right for Ford to exploit. Kellart trying to combine again, low ball in, sent towards John Russell, couldn't bring it down and try to put his side back ahead. Instead, Hume going to be forced to recycle. Russell crashes to the turf, and after having a little think, Jack Morgan gives the free kick. Ashcroft immediately carrying the ball up in an intriguing position. This free kick, very central position. Kurtar wants to take it quickly. Will he be allowed to? No, because the trainer has been called upon for Heidelberg. So Hume will be forced to go back and have a think about what they want to do. don't want to say it's too far out to score, because you have seen them scored from there in the past. Probably not good taste to attempt a shot from there, though, given the distance required and the calibre of Yaron Souza in the goals. Also, however, not that simple to find a teammate, given its central positioning. Not a lot of scope to get underneath it and drop it onto somebody's head. So Kurdar has Mark Ocheng for a bit of company. Looks like it will be Birkin Kurdar alone, though, that will have rights to take this one. Meanwhile, though, Dalibor Markovic, who has been snake bit by injuries throughout his career, never feels like he's been able to string a consistent run of games together in recent years because of injuries, and he's going to be forced off once more. Fletcher Fulton will come onto the pitch. Will continue his run of coming off the bench in every single game of the campaign thus far for the Burgers. Dalibor Markovic cutting a very frustrated figure as he hobbles towards a seat in the dugout. Kurdar, meanwhile, looking for a teammate who can head it back central. Not much power on it, but good hustle shown by Joel Russell to keep it alive. Kurdar from range, and it was dipping. Yaron Souza given something to think about, but ultimately able to watch it just sail over his crossbar and out for a goal kick. Passetto trying to chest it down and carry it inside. Will only result in a turnover. Russell goes down under a good sliding challenge. Heidelberg the opportunity to get some numbers back and get set up in their defensive shape. Try to frustrate Hume, as the visitors have done to them during multiple periods of sustained possession throughout this opening stanza, which has less than 5 minutes of regulation remaining. Scores locked up at 1 goal apiece. Isgrove, as his attempt charged down by Theodoropoulos. Thought the ground announcer was going to say something, might have changed his mind. There's Ishak on the ball for Hume. Isgrove, good vision from the Welshman to get it to Kurdar, who had the vision, but not the execution. As his pass goes straight to a man in yellow. Souza trying to be pinpoint with the delivery, and it was. Theodoropoulos immediately closed down by Isgrove. It will force him back to Collins. Russell keeping him company. Kurdar coming up as well. Let's try to cut down these easy passing lanes for the Burgers back line. Collins does well to find a teammate in Lethlean in a bit of space. But the Burgers still in their own half. Unable to progress the ball into Hume's side of the field. They'll do that now. Paul Duarch goes down. And he goes down after being fouled, according to our referee, Jack Morgan. It's an Ishak giving away the foul. Okakawa unable to just find a way through multiple defenders. Both sides swarming in defence. The Burgers doing so in a manner that will see them give away another free kick. Reardon. Across to Ishak. Not a lot of movement in front of Ishak. He's going to force him to hold it up, and the Burgers will look to pounce. Buildup was almost through, if not for the desperate sliding challenge, but now Moadara. Buildup in an offside position. Much to the frustration of the home fans at the home of the Matildas. A real move of malice threatening to evolve for Heidelberg, only for it to peter out at the critical juncture. And Hume, who took that 6-minute lead through Josh O'Kane, only for the Burgers to peg them back from the penalty spot. I was about to say looking to get into the dressing room at half-time level, but could they go up 2-1? Kellart keeping the play alive on that far side. Ocheng now. O'Kane, the goal scorer, he kept play moving. Then darted into the penalty area. And giving away the free kick. Hume dug out, didn't think he'd given away the free kick, but they're not the most unbiased of observers. Theodoropoulos heads it on. Sabitengor can't quite bring it down. Enables Ocheng to get across, but Theodoropoulos is there to feast on the scraps. He'll go down. And there's going to be a throw-in in the end. Ocheng has gone down in a bit of pain, holding his left shin, his left ankle area. Hume wants a free kick. Referee Jack Morgan instead indicating that the Burgers can throw this in. Michael Weir coming out of his penalty area to just confer with our official. And Ocheng up on his feet. Trainer didn't come onto the pitch, so he'll be able to stay on and help defend as Anthony Theodoropoulos will look to pick out a teammate. Hume have all 11 men back to defend. Joel Russell, the highest of them. Curtin now joining him in pressing the Burgers centre-backs. We are in stoppage time here in the opening stanza. As Isgrove's pass is almost stolen away by Yokokawa. Eventually the Burgers do get it back, trying to finish with a flourish in this opening half. Sabitengor ghosts past Ocheng, cuts it back to the top of the box. Adara has it blocked away. The spectacular attempt by Theodoropoulos is also blocked. And Heidelberg will be forced to reset. Is there enough time on the clock for them to have one final attack? Lesiotis scans, looks upfield, didn't see anything he liked. Collins carries it forward, still carrying it, losing it. All up for grabs. Bit of chaos here in first half stoppage time. Chaos cut short by the halftime whistle here at the home of the Matildas, where both sides will head into the dressing rooms with a goals to their name. Josh O'Kane scoring in the 6th minute to put Hume ahead, only for Heidelberg United to answer back from the penalty spot. Sabit Ngor winning it when he was brought down by Michael Weir. And Bulduach sending the Hume keeper the wrong way in tying this game up. Both teams onto the pitch. Players getting into position. Welcome back, one and all, to the home of the Matildas, round 6. NPL men's Victoria action between Heidelberg United and Hume City. And if you are just joining us, the scores are locked up at a goal apiece. Although, for how long? As Heidelberg come forward, and it's 2-1! Less than 20 seconds into this opening stanza. Yokokawa getting down the left, sending it in. And Buildup with his second of the game. Heidelberg United, they took an age to get out of the dressing room. All this feeling that they copped an absolute bake at half-time, and they have responded, immediately storming forward and getting their noses in front moments into the second stanza. It was a picture-perfect cutback from their Japanese winger. Ghosted into space. It was a good ball to find him. And no mistake was made. And potentially things going from bad to worse for Hume. Didn't look as though any subs were made at the halftime break, but Coach Marchioli might be forced to make one early anyway. Aaron Reardon came a cropper as he attempted to defend the ball. I think it was Bassetto that he was challenging before the ball was played for Yokokawa. Now he's down receiving treatment on what looks to be his left ankle. Oh. Bit happening. Anyway, my name is Joey Lynch. Thank you so much for joining us here on the NPL Men's Victoria YouTube page for the second half of this round 6 fixture, as Aaron Reardon will hobble off under his own power, but he's not going to be able to continue. Obi Eze, the 19-year-old midfielder, will make his way onto the park instead. The country boy, the former Murray United player. And well, a 1-2 combination delivered to Hume and their gaffer, Rick Marchioli, at the commencement of this second half. Down a goal and down their influential midfielder, Aaron Reardon. Had played an important role, not just with his work on the ball and defensively, but also his leadership and his organisational skills whenever Hume were called upon to get set up in what had been a rather stiff defensive alignment during extended periods of Heidelberg possession in the opening 45, but now he makes his way to the bench. We'll see how Hume City are able to respond. They've already lost one player to injury in the opening half. Godfrey the Ballet limping off early, replaced by Oliver Kellart. Josh Bingham not playing for Hume today either, their skipper. Now the second game on the bounce that Bingham has missed out on. And Heidelberg, absent their coach, Johnny Anastasiadis, after he was suspended last week. Also Johnny Apostolopoulos, after he picked up an injury early on in their loss to the Dandenong Thunder. They have themselves ahead against Hume City, 2-1 up, and hoping to retain this 2-1 lead, unlike the one they had against the Thunder in round 5. Too much on that ball, intended for Lloyd Isgrove. Isgrove with 2 goals to his name this season. They came in the same game, round 2, scoring both of Hume's in a 2-1 win over the Dandenong Thunder. Ishak trying to spear a ball forward for Joel Russell. Dratch coming up with it for the Burgers. Now Sabitangor seizing on it. Moadara. That is where Heidelberg's move forward will end, at least temporarily. Fletcher Fulton getting across to block that one away. Fulton coming out in the first half for a Heidelberg injury. Dalibor Markovic limping off. So, well, casualties on both sides already in this game. We're not even at the hour mark. Is that ball in? Intended for Russell. Danger not quite cleared yet until Fulton puts his boot through it. The Tasmanian. He got a goal in the loss to Dandenong Thunder last week. His first of the campaign. Ashcroft. Goes to Ocheng. Central to Kurdar. Dratch for company. So he opts for the simple ball back to his back line. And Yokokawa coming up to pressure Ashcroft, who was able to get it to Isgrove. O'Kane, the Hume goal scorer, back to Isgrove. Fulton applying the pressure. It's a good ball. Well, looked a good ball off the boot. In the end, it went long, unable to find a teammate. That's a good turn. And Heidelberg United in. Obiese hasn't been on the park long. And he'd wandered into an offside position. It was a dangerous looking cutback, just begging for a late arriving run. Wouldn't have counted had one been there, however. Left lean, gets his boot underneath it. Header goes central, Fletcher Fulton. Touch takes him past Birkenkurda. It's going to sit up for him. Savitngor in an onside position. Looking for the byline, and it's sent straight to the feet of Ashcroft, who was able to redirect it somewhere other than his goals. Always difficult with how quickly that ball came upon him. Ashcroft now. Maybe a bit of miscommunication there between himself and Isgrove. Isgrove's dropping to receive. The ball sent long over his head. Fulton takes the throw in quickly. Judge trying to hold the play up. Instead, Hume will have themselves a throw in. Maybe Eze to take. Eze's made one start for Hume this season, otherwise his 5 appearances on the campaign, including tonight, coming off the bench. Cheng as well to keep the play alive. Then Russell trying to make something happen. Had to drop deep to do so, however, and that meant it was rather comfortable for Ryan Lethlean as he went back to Yaron Souza, who's content to just pick out his target. Extra time didn't help him in the end. Burke and Kurdar getting across and heading it clear. Otis went down under the challenge from Eze after he got rid of it, and that will be a free kick for Heidelberg. An unpressured set piece opportunity. Will give them a chance to get some numbers forward on this left flank if they can move the ball out there. Instead, left lane goes back to Souza. You've got Passetto waiting near the halfway line. That's where it goes. Fletcher Fulton's overlapped. So Passetto will drop into left back for now. Back to Souza. Now the press comes. Adara. The press is still there for Hume. The veteran Berger midfielder turns. Ball played in behind. George will give chase, but Mike Weir out of his area and sends it into touch. Did that even go in? It did. So it will be a Hume ball. Much to the chagrin of the Berger faithful. But now Heidelberg can have a throw in, albeit it's on the opposite flank. Souza out of his area to get involved. Lethlean with Russell lurking. Gives it back to Souza, back to Lethlean. Dara, Lesiotis. Heidelberg trying to play their way through this first line of the Hume defence. Ball was intended for George, picked out. Now it's going to come back. Ashcroft can't believe it. But the free kick has been given against him, and he will go into referee Jack Morgan's book. Bringing down Anthony Theodoropoulos. And you'd have to say it's a dangerous position. It's far out, but not too far out. Just the right sort of areas you want if you want to try to get something over a wall and then have it dip back down beneath the crossbar. Burke and Kurdar's free kick in the first half in a similar sort of line, but a bit further out. Passetto has come across. One potential taker, Sabet-Ngor, the other. Oh, now we've got a red card for Rick Marchioli. The Hume coach, furious with the decision. And after some warnings, Marchioli, a week after Johnny Anastasiadis was sent off and was suspended, now the Hume boss will watch this game from the dressing room. Jono Clemente, his assistant, presumably will assume head coaching responsibilities. Now here we go. It's 2-1 Heidelberg. Both sides have lost injuries, and now both sides are playing without their head coaches in the dugout. Meanwhile, as well, Heidelberg have the chance to make it 3-1 from this set piece. You've got Ngor, who's shaping to take it. Looking to get underneath it and have it dip back in, but too much on it, too underneath it. That goes out for a goal kick. However, you'd hardly call that a wasted opportunity for the Burgers completely, given that it has resulted in Marchioli's dismissal. No doubt the stream of tonight's game immediately being produced on the coach's phone as he heads into the dressing room. Hello, Rick. If you're watching with the sound on. Headed clear by Fletcher Fulton. Fourth official, Vlatko Trojewski, still talking with the Hume dugout as they come forward. The ball across, takes a touch. And the visitors will have themselves a corner on their attacking left flank. Burgers getting numbers back to defend. Birkenkerda ambling across to take. Kellart in support. Ashcroft and Ishak have come forward to provide an extra bit of height. Ryan Lethlean for the Burgers, probably the tallest man in that mass of bodies near the front post. A mass of bodies which has drawn the attention of referee Jack Morgan. And he's just called over the Hume skipper for a bit of a conversation, as well as Max Bassetto. Well, I talked in the opening stanza about how a bit of niggle, a bit of frustration looked like it was seeping into this game, and after the Burgers grabbed the early go-ahead goal, maybe has only continued to grow. Hume's head coach Rick Marchioli sent off just minutes ago as this ball is whipped in. Souza flew, couldn't get it. Eze trying to keep it alive. In the end, does enough to win his side another corner, this one from the opposite flank. Taken short, whipped in, but to no Hume attacker in particular, really. Comfortable headed clearance by the Burgers. Ocheng has it back for Hume. High ball to the top of the box. Kerdar is there, tries to knot it on. He has a shot, was off target, collected the breadbasket of a Heidelberg defender. Screams from Jono Clemente in the Hume dugout for a penalty, waved away. Oh, that's a sloppy turnover in a dangerous area, but the ball intended for Isgrove picked out at the last. And now maybe, can Heidelberg break? Yokokawa, he's set up one goal already. Juarch is second. Can he go himself? The Japanese attacker! Hollywood Heidelberg, Yokokawa with a sublime solo effort. Has the Burgers ahead 3-1. Right into the bottom corner of that net. And after falling behind in just the 6th minute of this contest, 2 goals to Buljuach. And now a sublime solo effort from Yokokawa has Heidelberg up 2 goals to the good. Heidelberg 3, Hume City 1. The chant, Alexandros, goes up from the Berger faithful. Their side up 3-1. Looking like they will be able to vault up the table. They enter tonight in 6th position on the table. As Bassetto comes forward again. A lot of Hume players around him. O'Kane, one of them, got a boot in. Ball's remained in play. Buildup getting across to provide some contest as well. It's run and Weir jumps on it. He clears it away, and now acknowledging a lot of football to be played this weekend, but on the live ladder, Heidelberg have jumped Hume, who entered tonight in 4th. They now occupy 4th, does Alexander. Both sides level on 10 points, but Heidelberg now possessing the superior goal difference. Other action around the grounds. Green Gully. Hasn't been the best start to the season from Green Gully. One of their worst in the NPL era, in fact, but looks like it will be a positive one this evening for them. It's the 68th minute at Melbourne's West, and they leave Melbourne Knights 3-0. Opening half of Port Melbourne against Melbourne Victory. It is the youth of the A-League men's side that hold a 1-0 lead. And the opening stanza out at Oakley versus St Albans has seen both sides score. Oakley 1, St Albans 1. There's a couple of changes being made by Hume. Chen coming off, being replaced by Dennis Yildiz. Joel Russell also coming off, being replaced by Michael Domfer. Domfer, one of the new recruits to Hume this season, signing from Northcote City, where he scored 16 goals last VPL 1 season. Made his name in NPLWA and a bit of a stint with Perth Glory's youth as well. There's 2 goals to his name this season, does Domfer. Despite only starting 1 game, scored against Preston and Dandy City, and now he will be entrusted to lead the line as Hume chase a comeback. For all the excitement, both of these sides still do have 11 men on the park each. And the hope will be for Hume that if Heidelberg can score 3 unanswered to go ahead, they can at least score 2 unanswered to bring this game back to level pegging, albeit time rapidly running out. A 4th for the Burgers, you would think, would be an absolutely fatal blow. Lesiotis turns away from trouble. Hume's press. Just a bit more urgency to it since the goal. Trying to force their way back in, but a bit too enthusiastic there. Giving away the free kick. Just took you through the men's games. Of course, NPL Women's Victoria back this weekend as well. Opening game of the campaign, Bentley Greens and South Melbourne playing out a 1-1 draw, and Here on the old Sofa Score app, showing me that it's 25th minute. The Spring Hills' first game in the women's top flight after their promotion last season, hosting Preston Lions, and that game locked at 0-0. Passetto laying the ball off of Fulton's run. He's cut the ball back, just behind his intended recipient, and Hume scramble it clear, but for how long? Good sliding challenge from Lesiotis. Savitengor picks it up. Lethlean. His pass. Isgrove got a touch on it. Adara picks it up. Advancing into the area. Trying to find a teammate. Was closed down, being paid close attention by Joe Ford, and he's going to have to make do with a corner. Certainly a bit more energy in this Heidelberg home crowd now that they have that 2-goal advantage. Their women's side, of course, Heidelberg, the defending champions of the NPL Women's Victoria competition. They will start their campaign tomorrow on the road in the late game against Burundara at the Veneto Club. Steph Gallier and co looking to go back-to-back. Ball to the top of the 6-yard box. Weir came for it. Couldn't make proper contact with his fist, if any. Ball whipped back in. Lethlean's still up there as a target for the Burgers. They couldn't find him. Lesiotis, the last man back. Not the best header. Did the job. Savitengor. There's a Dara and Jarch in front of him. Jarch brings it down on the chest and turns. And then just shrugs off the attention of Kerdar. Bulduach ran into a cul-de-sac of red shirts and goes down. But Lesiotis cuts across to snuff out any hopes of transition, at least initially. Isgrove now on the ball. Lesiotis has kept running. And a fantastic sliding challenge from Anthony Lesiotis. Draws a round of applause from the home fans as he shuts down a prospective Hume attack. It's a turnover though. Eze, his shot blocked. Lethlean. Strong clearance out. And that attack will peter out to nothing for Hume. Isgrove in no mood to wait around for Lesiotis to give the ball back at his own pace as Kerdar prepares to take a free kick. Hume gaining numbers to the top of the penalty area. Looking to reduce that deficit to 1. Just over 15 minutes to go here at the home of the Matildas. Sozer at the top of his 6-yard box as he awaits the delivery. Kerdar's delivery, it's a good one. But the ball came off the head of Collins. O'Kane trying to keep the play alive. Ball to the byline, it's cut back, but yet again, as we've seen so often tonight, the cutback is met by a defender. Heidelberg preparing a double change. Joe McGowan and Chok Dow receiving some last instructions before they are allowed to enter the fray. Theodoropoulos just limping off to the sideline, and appears as though he's going to begin the long march around the touchline as one of the changes. Heidelberg holding play out. They want to make the changes now. That's what Theodoropoulos looks like he's saying. And that change will be allowed to be made. Jay McGowan, after playing around 75 minutes as an injury replacement sub last week, will be entrusted with the last 15 of this game to see things out. So he's played about 90 minutes over the past couple of weeks, or he will. So Ittengor, Hill will also amble off on that far side. Chok Dow coming onto the park. He's got 1 goal to his name thus far this season. Ball nodded on. Heidelberg clear, at least initially, through Fulton. And then on the second time, again, seeing it away. Dwach trying to turn and just see off his marker so he can find a teammate. But the attempted pass to the newly introduced Chok Dow does not come off. So 15 minutes to go here at the home of the Matildas on that big scoreboard over there. After heading into the halftime team talks, locked at 1-1. Heidelberg have 2 goals in this second stanza. Dwach just less than 20 seconds in, putting them ahead 2-1. And then Sahi Yokokawa with a solo effort to give them that 2-goal cushion. Barring a remarkable fight back from Hume, we'll see them overhaul the visitors on the table with what would be their 3rd win of the campaign. Adding Hume to previous scalps of St Albans and Melbourne victory. Hume, meanwhile, staring down the barrel of their 2nd defeat of the campaign. They haven't lost since round 1. When they lost to Preston in their first game back in the Victorian top flight and Reservoir. It takes something very special from here by Hume. Yokokawa pointing where he wants it. Wanted it to feet. He'll give chase instead. And Ashcroft getting across. And Weir's first time ball. Just trying to dink it to a couple of teammates that he had on that flank. But sending it into touch. In contrast to the increasing frantic energy of Hume, the Burgers just content to take their time with these restarts. Not in a rush. Collins sends 2 opponents to the shops. Chok Dow now. McGowan on the overlap. Stood up. And Hume repulse. And now they will potentially try to break before Heidelberg can assume their defensive shape. Ford trying to sprint past Lesiotis. Lesiotis gets his body in the road and then slides through to send that ball out for a throw-in rather than a corner. Domfer trying to just hold it up and lay it off to a teammate in the form of Birkenkerder. Forward. O'Kane winding up. Shot goes straight off the chest of an opponent. Ashcroft coming through like a bull in a china shop until he's brought down by a fair sliding challenge. Hume City throw in. They've also introduced Mehmet Uysal off the bench. Another one of these academy prospects in their senior side. And the move comes to naught as Yaron Souza can have himself a goal kick. Basetto, heavy first touch, allows Eze to sneak in. Fulton took it back but couldn't find his winger with the pass before he was closed down. Bit frantic, bit scrambling in the middle. Forward, look backwards and then forwards. Got it to Kerdar. Now there's a bit of space. Isgrove on the left. Early ball in, but a good clearing header from Collins. Sees it out for a corner. 10 minutes of regulation remaining here at the home of the Matildas. Also the back post. Eze was lurking. That desperate left foot that he just sent up. Couldn't redirect the ball inside the net. Heidelberg will once more be just content to take their time in restarting this game. Domfer coming forward, allowing Souza to rest on his laurels. Isgrove is there as well. His chase not fruitful. It's a good ball from Duarte around his body. Chokdale can't get there before the sliding challenge. Joe Ford. O'Kane. Isgrove. Sends it out to Yildiz on the left. Low ball in. Collins again getting in the road. Duarte trying to go around the corner. Hacked down. Fairly, however. And Hume immediately take the throw in. 8 minutes of regulation now remains as Heidelberg preparing another double change. Peter Klassen and Ethan Sardellis preparing to enter the game. Heidelberg, can they make it 4? Danger not cleared, and it is going to be 4 goals. Heidelberg United are going to win this football match. And it's Yokokawa with a brace. 2 goals to Bulduach. 2 goals to Yokokawa. And the Burgers will take the 3 points. They will overhaul Hume on the ladder. Cheers of appreciation going up by the Heidelberg faithful. Yokokawa now has 3 goals on the campaign. The same number as Bulduach. And in fact, is that going to be the Japanese attacker's final action in this game? No, he will stay out there. Omadara is going to make way. Bassetto makes way as well as Ethan Sardellis and Peter Klassen come on, and you'll have seen a lot of high fives there for Ethan Sardellis as he comes on, the teenager. Finally getting onto the park in senior football. He's been an unused sub on a number of occasions, but believe this is the 17-year-old senior NPL Men's Victoria debut. A proud moment for him, his family and his junior coaches. Not the worst circumstances to make your debut in as well. Coming on in what is going to be a win. This wouldn't be Heidelberg's heaviest ever win over Hume. Got a 5-0 result over their opponents tonight once. But 4 goals, certainly a good return at the office, especially after going down in just the 6th minute. The first Heidelberg win over Hume in 658 days. They last did so in round 15 of the 2023 season. It's Kenny Athew on the score sheet that day for the Burgers in a 1-0 win. This triumph a bit more emphatic. Isgrove under pressure from Collins, getting away from him. Collins was able to recover with a bit of help from his teammate there in Jay McGowan. Klassen involved in a, what do we call that, bit of a wrestling match with Ishak. Play on was the call. Here comes Heidelberg. Yaron Souza dives to knock the cross away. And then it was a desperate sliding tackle from Fulton. We'll call it a tackle, even though he ended up clearing the ball with his head. And now he's gone down to the turf, as has, I think he's Hume player as well. So both sides coming into the wars in these last moments. Trainer called for by Hume. McGowan doesn't look like it was a head injury from his desperate challenge. Instead, just a cramp. I think that is that. Indeed, it is Birkin Kardar. He looks to be in a bit more pain than Fulton. He will have to go off. Wanted to continue, but once the trainer's on the park, you have to head off. Birkin Kardar, Hume City running through his veins. The DNA of this club intertwined with his. Signing this season. Grandfather helped founds the club. Ishak carries the ball forward. Kerdar back on the park, gets a touch. O'Kane laying it off a Ford. Some of these fresh substitutes for the Burgers, bringing a bit of energy as they look to make it difficult for the visitors in attack. But territory shifts. Attempted overlapping ball. Well, hustle keeps it alive for Hume. Do they have the delivery? Can they even fashion a delivery? They cannot. Hume deny them. And now do we have a foot race? No support. Klassen is forced to go himself. And in the end, he didn't miss by much, but just unable to get it on the target. Unable to add what would have been a cherry on the sundae. McGowan getting back, sending that one away. Ricochets to Ishak. Isgrove has gone central. Ricochets out to the left. Hume again looking to attack the byline, the low cutback, but it is that man again. Ben Collins intercepting and then just sending it into space. It's not often that when thinking of best on ground in a 4-1 win, your mind would immediately go to a centre-back as one of the major candidates, but Ben Collins has been immense for Heidelberg tonight. Another ball in, left lean, got a body in the way. And that afforded Yaron Souza the time to come out, claim the ball and fall on it. Heidelberg United will hit the road next week. Heading down to Frank Holohan Soccer Complex on Friday night to take on Dandenong City. Smackle Domfer just getting in the way of Yaron Souza. Escapes with the talking to rather than any sort of caution, as the fourth official signals that there will be 5 minutes of added time here at the home of the Matildas. Hume, meanwhile, they will look to pick themselves up, dust themselves up, as they host South Melbourne on Friday evening. That game, of course, a rematch of last year's Australia Cup finals, where it was South Melbourne triumphing in extra time. Also the fight. They played each other a lot in that stretch. One of those weird quirks of the Doherty Cup, Australia Cup and finals all converging. Yokokawa has the ball poked away from him. Fletcher Fulton is there. Gowan. Dow. Under pressure from Isgrove. Coughs it up. Domfer. Can't carry the ball upfield before Collins, who else, comes in with a challenge. And now maybe some space for Heidelberg. Can they pile on the pain? Yokokawa is on a hat-trick. Yokokawa has his hat-trick. He's an absolute sniper. 3 goals, 3 balls delivered into the bottom corner. Held aloft by his adoring teammates. The wizard from Japan has his hat-trick. Heidelberg have a 5th. And the rout has its sealing moment. The grandstands have emptied here at the home of the Matildas. The roar goes up from the Heidelberg fans. Most of them have left the grandstand here at the home of the Matildas and they've made their way down to ground level. A collection of them on the sideline to celebrate with Yokokawa as he made it 5-1. Well, I guess the question is, whenever a player goes down and gets injured or gets suspended and is out of the lineup and his side has a big win, the question is, does he come straight back in, or do you just reward those that did the job? Does that work for coaches, I wonder? Johnny Anastasiadis suspended tonight. Does he come straight back in? Or do we keep this makeshift coaching staff alive for the Burgers? Have to ask them after the game. After last week's disappointment against the Dandenong Thunder, it has been A resounding response from Heidelberg United. And they will no doubt head down to the southeast next week full of confidence to take on Dandenong City. They have a reunion, of course. Kenny Athieu, the hero of so many moments for Heidelberg United now over the years, now playing with the Dandenong City Hajduk. All over the top for Hume. Souza out. Van Persie-like with his header form as he made the clearance. Well, Isgrove from range, just trying to force something. Clearing not only the crossbar, but also the netting behind the goals as it buries itself amongst those empty blue seats in the grandstand behind Yaron Souza's goal. Full time at the home of the Matildas. It was 1-1 at half time. But a goal after 20 seconds from Buildup set the tone for Heidelberg United. They were gone in a bloom of smoke in that second stanza, piling on 4 goals. Sahi Yokokawa scoring 3 of them. The Japanese attacker, the hat-trick hero for Heidelberg, as they overhaul Hume City on the table as heavy 5-1 victors here at the home of the Matildas. Hume will lick their wounds. They will be without coach Rick Marchioli next week after he was sent off in the second half. They took the lead after just 6 minutes through Josh O'Kane, but it proved a false dawn. And now they will have to get up, dust themselves off, and look to rebound ahead of a big meeting with South Melbourne next week. My name has been Joey Lynch. It has been an absolute pleasure to have your company throughout this broadcast. Don't forget that you can see every game of the 2025 NPL Men's Victoria season, every game of the 2025 NPL Women's Victoria season. Heidelberg United women beginning their championship defence tomorrow night against Boroondara, 8:30 at the Veneto Club. You can see all of those games on YouTube. Be sure you're subscribed, and then be a friend, tell a friend. Get them subscribed as well. Select games of the Doherty Cup and a whole bunch of other Brucey bonuses coming your way on that channel throughout the campaign as we build momentum before the first iteration of the Australian Championship that will feature a minimum 4 Victorian clubs. For now, though, that is where I will bid you adieu from Olympic Village. Thanks and success.